Fundamentals of Meditation by Lucian. Appearances 3 and 4. 21. I prepared to become a pedagogue by producing 250 listening pop songs which contain high-quality imagery and which are expressed as 50 as. I did this by liking the pop star character. First, I was given 50 as in pop stardom before birth. Second, I was given 50 as in pedagogy before birth. Third, I was given 50 as in professor, prologue, critical thinking, meditation and other developed areas of study before birth. In this way, I prepared to become a pedagogue by producing 250 listening pop songs which contain high-quality imagery and which are expressed as 50 as by liking the pop star character. 22. I prepared to dispense with birthright myths and make one for pedagogues. I did this by liking schools. First, I opened the most prestigious school in the universe. Second, I noticed the students were royalty. Third, I opened a pop school too. In this way, I prepared to dispense with birthright myths and make one for pedagogues by liking schools. 23. I prepared to be non-invasive. I did this by verifying the contents of the vesical apparatus. First, I brazened out all my sets of 50 as in the 6 months prior to conception. Second, I massaged my sweaty neck to help return it to normal. Third, I helped discover scientific discoveries. In this way, I prepared to be non-invasive by verifying the contents of the vesical apparatus. 24. I prepared to help disabled people. I did this by liking the principal. First, I determined that the principal was a pedagogue. Second, I determined that the principal was smart. Third, I determined that the principal helped me to my goals. In this way, I prepared to help disabled people by liking the principal. 25. I prepared to help you too. I did this by liking the teacher. First, I determined that the teacher gave me my thoughts. Second, I determined that the teacher helped me to my goals. Third, I worked out university turned people into teachers. In this way, I prepared to help you too by liking the teacher. 26. I prepared to help the students again. I did this by liking the teacher aides. First, I determined that they were smart. Second, I determined that they were helpful. Third, I determined that they were useful. In this way, I prepared to help the students again by liking the teacher aides. 27. I prepared to be inspired by and inspire pop. I did this by writing down a thought from the song. First, I wrote down a thought from the song. Second, I became a philosopher. Third, I was inspired by and inspired philosophy. In this way, I prepared to be inspired by and inspire pop by writing down a thought from the song. 28. I prepared to write 30 non-professor or 60 professor pedagogy arguments to help me to deserve high grades in master's or PhD assignment chapters. I did this by writing 2 as per day. First, I wrote the listening algorithm descriptions. Second, I expanded these into a 2 as length listening chapter. Third, I brazened it out during an assignment. In this way, I prepared to write 30 non-professor or 60 professor pedagogy arguments to help me to deserve high grades in master's or PhD assignment chapters by writing 2 as per day. 29. I prepared to indicate the 250 listening pop song inspired by the top song in cosmology, and dotted on the area of study points to remember, to give the pedagogy student 50 specific as to become a pedagogue. I did this by writing the Breath-Sunning's essay press release. First, I waited 70 years until after the secondary text writer, the music producer and text-to-movie software writer died to include their products in my catalog. Second, Lucian wrote the Breath-Sunning's essay, It was about my theory of human judgment of objects in a pedagogical sense, i.e. knowledge of it was required to deserve to earn H1. I wrote it in 2013 after taking a break from science at Monash and discovering my famous essay format. I wrote it in the South Yarra to Donington Library in Melbourne, Australia. I chose the topic from meditation to help answer the question of how to earn H1 at Melbourne University, and wrote it after meditating on the pedagogy ways of thinking which I used to write the reasoning chapter which the essay is based on. Third, I offered the essay to my students to grapple with. In this way, I prepared to indicate the 250 reasoning pop song inspired by the top song in cosmology, and dotted on the area of study points to remember. To give the pedagogy student 50 specific has to become a pedagogue by writing the Breath-Sunning's essay press release. 30. I prepared to maintain system dynamics. I did this by writing the Breath-Sunning's essay press release. First, I wrote the subject was a human judge of a verb. Second, I wrote the essay was written to identify non-monotonicies exceptions in verb judgments, e.g. go more quickly to reach the goal in time. Third, I wrote this by explaining choosing the correct judgment of verbs led to maintaining verb judgment correctness. In this way, I prepared to maintain system dynamics by writing the Breath-Sunning's essay press release.